The Champions League final is slowly approaching. It's coming up here on Saturday, May 31st, a massive game between PSG and also Inter. Two very good sides, have a lot of passion this season. So in this video, we're just gonna talk about their journey and how good they have been in this competition, and then we'll predict it at the end. So we'll get started with PSG first. They have been overall throughout the whole campaign, I think, a very good side, just a very overall defensive team. They probably had like 1 goal conceded in the league phase, which is absolutely crazy out of like 10 games or so. That's outrageous. They do play like a very tight low block and like a 5-back, so I mean, it's not really a surprise, but they have reached the final, I believe, 3 times in the last 4 years. That is outrageous. We gotta give full credit to the players and also Inzaghi. He's done a fantastic job. But let's start with their journey, starting from the quarterfinals. Now, the quarterfinals, they faced off against Bayern, and Bayern, I would say they are a pretty good side this season, but the first leg ended 2-1 to Inter. Obviously, Lautaro Martinez, their main man up top, getting the goal, and Frattesi winning the first leg for them in the 88th minute. That was very clutch of him. And as we all know, he also won them the game, I believe, against Barcelona, which is crazy. He's been incredibly clutch for them. Then in the second leg, it was pretty crazy as well, because Inter drew that game 2-2. At one point they were drawing, I believe, 3-3, but then, I mean, the first goal by Inter, Lautaro Martinez, again, Pavard scoring against his former club Bayern as well, but then Harry Kane and Eric Dyer scored the goal, and it ended 2-2, which means Inter went through on a 4-3 aggregate score. So very tight scores in their knockout round games, because in that semi-final leg as well, it was pretty tight between Barcelona and Inter. So in the first leg, it went crazy. It was a 3-3 draw between the two. On Barcelona's side, we had Lamine Yamal scoring, Ferran Torres, and Sommer scored a own goal. I mean, it hit the crossbar, but it went off his back, so a little bit unlucky. But on the other side for Inter, Marcus Thuram scored in the first minute. Outrageous. Then we had Denzel Dumfries scoring twice. This guy has been fantastic in both the semi-final legs against Barcelona. And this Inter team didn't really dominate the game in that first leg. Like, Barcelona had a majority of the possession, a lot of shots as well, but Inter were just very clinical. They had 3 shots on target and they scored all 3 of them. So the second leg went even more crazy between Inter and Barcelona. It ended 4-3. We had Lautaro Martinez, who scored first, then Çalhanoğlu, then Acerbi scoring in the 93rd minute. So basically, with that goal, he sent Inter into extra time. If he did not score that goal, Barcelona would have been in the final at this current moment. But then Frattesi scored in the 99th minute. As I mentioned before, he scored another clutch goal against Barcelona in the second leg to send Inter into the final. So Barcelona, for them, the goal scorers were Eric Garcia, then we had Dani Olmo, and Rafinha scored in the 87th minute. So at that moment, Barcelona were actually leading like 6-5, but then Acerbi and Frattesi scored, and that sent Inter into the final. I mean, 3 times out of 4 years being in the final is absolutely crazy. And a lot of the players here are very talented. We have Barella, who's a overall incredible midfielder. Bastoni, he's been named the Serie A defender of the season. He's been fantastic. He just runs up with the ball occasionally into the midfield, or he overlaps on the left side. He's just very good with the ball at his feet and with his passing ability as well. Then we have the front 2 in Martinez, who's scored in nearly every single match for Inter. He's been very good. He potentially is in the top rankings for the Ballon d'Or, but I unfortunately don't think he will win it. Thuram has been very important in terms of hold of play as well, and he's chipped in with goals as well. And Dumfries has been so key in multiple knockout games. In these past few games, he got like 2 assists or something in this match as well, or in the last match. He's been fantastic. This whole team is great. But Jan Sommer, he's stepped up. I believe they signed him for like 5 million, and they sold Onana for what, over 50? And they got Sommer in for 5 million. Sommer has been so solid for them. He made multiple insane saves against Barcelona as well, in the second leg especially. I'm moving on to PSG. This team, I mean, it's another great team. I think the best team in the world at the moment that plays the best football. I think in the quarterfinal they faced Aston Villa, which in the first leg it ended 3-1 in PSG's favor. That was at home, and wow, they absolutely dominated that game. They had 29 shots and 10 shots on target, 76% possession. Unbelievable. PSG, unbelievable. They just completely dominated that game. Obviously, Desiree Doué getting a goal, Kvaratskhelia getting a goal, and Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes has been probably the best left back in the world this season, in the Champions League especially. But 1 goal was scored by Aston Villa, which was by Morgan Rogers. So Aston Villa could have made a comeback coming into this second leg, especially if they were playing at home. In that second leg, they actually won 3-2, but it wasn't enough. Unfortunately, we had Tielemans scoring, we had John McGinn, Esri Konsa as well. Like, Aston Villa had so many chances to honestly get the lead and go through, but PSG held off. There was like a 30-minute period where it was all Aston Villa. Aston Villa just kept on going. And Donnarumma, I believe he made multiple great saves. But the 2 goals were the difference in the second leg by both fullbacks, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes. What can I say? That sent them through to the semi-finals. And in the semi-finals, they faced my club, Arsenal, and it was obviously a tough day for Arsenal. But in that first leg, it was, I would say, pretty even between the two, back and forth. But Ousmane Dembele scoring in the 4th minute, that was the difference maker, and they won that game like 1-0. As I said, it was fairly even. Arsenal had 5 shots on target, PSG had 4 shots on target as well. That was at the Emirates, so PSG managed to win that game at the Emirates, which is a huge advantage coming back to their home ground. And obviously the second leg was played at the Parc des Princes, and PSG won that game 2-1. Fabian Ruiz scoring a goal, very good volley, and Achraf Hakimi scoring in the 72nd minute to basically secure them the Champions League final. And Arsenal, only Bukayo Saka scored for Arsenal, unfortunately. I mean, PSG, we all knew they were gonna win at home. Like, they've just been fantastic this season. 6 shots on target for them, 11 shots overall, but Arsenal had 19 shots, only 4 got on target, and Donnarumma had most of them on like lock. He made some very good saves, probably been the best keeper throughout the Champions League campaign. So we're seeing Sommer and Donnarumma facing off in this Champions League final, so 2 very good keepers who have been on form in this competition. Now obviously we have Dembele. He's been in incredible form. He's probably the top runner right now for the Ballon d'Or, and if he wins this Champions League with PSG, I think that just confirms him winning the Ballon d'Or, because once they win this, that's the, what is it, quadruple or treble completed right there. But that front 3 is so dangerous for PSG. We have Kvaratskhelia, we have Doué over there. Barcola could come in for Doué as well. And then we have Dembele, who's been in unreal form. He's been scoring in nearly every single match. And I think he'll be fit for this final, obviously, because in that second leg, he did not play due to a injury. But that midfield is very, very strong as well. João Neves has been fantastic. Vitinha has been probably one of the best midfielders, holding midfielders in the world at the moment. Ruiz has just been fantastic ever since he won the Euros. He's been fantastic, and that defense as well. Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, Mendes, it's just been very, very solid. And with Donnarumma in goal, I mean, Donnarumma is probably one of the best keepers in the world and in this competition at the moment. So this game is going to be so good. I could see it being back and forth, or Inter just hold it off a little bit and try and secure like that 1-0 win like they did against a few of the top teams earlier in the competition. But PSG, I expect them to have a majority of possession, but both of these sides are very, very passionate, so we might see a high scoring game, and personally that's what I want, a high scoring game in the final. But let's see what happens in this match, and Luis Enrique could win the treble again with PSG. That's gonna be crazy if it happens, obviously. My prediction for this game is gonna be a 2-1 win for PSG, and they will complete their treble. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below your prediction for this final of the Champions League. It's gonna be incredible. I can't wait to watch it. And don't forget to subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.